America, when the rich and powerful commit sexual harassment, the rules change. Media coverage shifts, accountability fades, and the focus is redirected away from the actual issue. Hi, I'm Jordan, and today we're breaking down how this culture lacks accountability, who benefits from it, and what it will take to dismantle it. This isn't just about individual bad actors. It's about a structure that allows predators with money and influence to operate in plain sight. In the United States, sexual harassment is often presented as a personal moral failing, a headline-grabbing scandal, a bad apple story. But when the accused are wealthy, that framing shifts. Suddenly, the narrative is softer, and the language more cautious. Accountability is pushed aside, and public attention is steered toward distraction. This isn't accidental. It happens because the system is flawed, and it shields privileged offenders from real consequences, often through legal loopholes and connections. Taking a look at the cases of various privileged offenders will reveal the dark side of the system. According to the PBS NewsHour, 147 lawmakers across 44 states have been accused of sexual misconduct, many of whom are still in office. Some avoided consequences entirely. Those who have access to defense lawyers, lobbyists, and image specialists often are better off. Ordinary people rarely get that kind of defense. The case of Jeffrey Epstein makes this hard to ignore. After his 2008 conviction for soliciting a minor, you might expect his social life to evaporate. Instead, Epstein moved easily into elite circles. His contact list included former President Bill Clinton, Britain's Prince Andrew, and Donald Trump. In 2002, Trump told New York Magazine, "He's a lot of fun to be with many of them are on the younger side." Behind the scenes, Epstein ran an international trafficking network. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, it was fueled by wealth, staffed by enablers, and protected by a network of powerful friends. Many of those associates were never charged. Another example is Leon Black, a billionaire financier and Epstein associate who was accused of rape in 2023. Yet, like Epstein before him, he has avoided indictment despite numerous credible allegations and continues to wield influence in finance and philanthropy. In 2024, real estate developers Elon, Oren, and Tal Alexander were charged with sex trafficking and coercion in Manhattan. While their cases are still unfolding, the pattern is familiar: enormous wealth, extensive networks, and a system that makes accountability rare. The media plays this part too. Rather than exploring patterns of systemic abuse, many outlets stick to the scandal format, painting each case as an isolated lapse in judgment. Others lean into spectacle, chasing salacious detail while ignoring the structural conditions that make these crimes possible. Misinformation campaigns add another layer with fabricated conspiracy narratives that blur the truth and make it harder for the public to focus on what's important. As journalist Moya Lothian McLean writes, the rich and powerful become abusers not because they can, but because of the compulsion and the environment that enables to do so. Psychology helps explain this. Dr. Keltner's research on the neuroscience of power finds that as people gain status, their empathy can decrease while their sense of entitlement increases. In the legal realm, Boston University's Gina Weinberg points out that U.S. law often favors the wealthy, especially through non-disclosure agreements and private settlements, both of which can effectively bury abuse claims for years, sometimes even decades. The imbalance isn't unique to America. In South Africa, televangelist Timothy Omotoso used his religious authority and public image to allegedly traffic and abuse young girls for years before facing serious scrutiny. The similarities to Epstein's case are striking. A respected public figure, loyal insiders, and institutions slow to act. When systems reward power without enforcing accountability, abuse flourishes anywhere in the world. As trust in traditional institutions erodes, survivors are turning to platforms like TikTok and Instagram to tell their stories. These platforms bypass mainstream gatekeeping, allowing testimony, education, and solidarity to spread widely. But going public online comes with its own risks: harassment, threats, and organized attempts to discredit survivors. The pushback is real, even in spaces meant to amplify voices. Fixing this requires structural change, not just moral outrage. NDAs in sexual abuse cases should be heavily restricted or banned. Judicial processes must apply the same standards regardless of the accused's wealth or status. Public funding for investigative journalism should be expanded. ensuring reporters can dig into powerful offenders without fear of corporate or political retaliation. Schools need to teach power literacy, how status shapes behavior and shields misconduct, rather than celebrating wealth without question. Sexual harassment among the wealthy is not a string of unrelated scandals. It is a system of an entrenched system where money, influence, and silence intersect. If we want justice to mean anything, it has to apply equally, without exceptions for the elite. If we keep treating these cases as isolated incidents, we let the system off the hook. And for survivors, that's not just injustice. It's a reminder that the institutions meant to protect them were never built for them at all. Each time we look away, each time we excuse the powerful, we send a message that the status matters more than safety. Until that changes, the cycle will repeat, leaving survivors to carry out the cost of our silence.